happening in the past. We want to now be able to put a system in place that will checkmate, correct the ills of the past, give us a new pedestal from which to stand and operate going forward.
Officially, what we get in the country, 79% is from crude, foreign exchange, 11% is from oil, from gas, natural gas. Between the two of them is 90%.
If we are getting whatever it is we are getting from oil revenue today, you look at the oil revenue is more than enough to take Nigeria to her next level. But at the end of the day, the processes, the leakages, and so many things that have become like an epidemic on our economy will not allow whatever we are gaining or getting from this deposit or these blessings from God to give us what we are looking for.
The coming of Brazil now this time is important. Then first they have to organize a workshop for these herders, those who rear cows. This is why it's good for you to have your cows in a particular place, and these are things you do to feed them well, and they will equally have good meat for consumption.
The end of a matter is better than its beginning, and in the other way around, the beginning of a thing also can predict what the afternoon or the evening of that same thing would look like. With the trend that has not been curbed and nothing has been discussed about it, for instance, when you see a project like fuel subsidy removal and you don't have a substitution or alternative like stomach infrastructure or welfare package for the same people that you are coming up to lead, and even though I didn't hear her directly, but it was in news that the president's wife made a speech that Nigeria should not be afraid that they are not coming to loot Nigeria because they are already having money. They are billionaires or trillionaires. So people were depending on that speech. Okay, if you come up, at least if you are a rich man and you come to manage a team, you make your influence affect the people so that they will not have hope. So right now, apart from God, sir, the trend that we are seeing in our economic ecosystem does not promise any better show for anybody.
If we had a better structure, I thought I had some kind of stuff in mind to say geopolitical zones. And we had a plan that every geopolitical zone must have a power station, for example. That means we have a minimum of 6 strong power stations.
Yes. It's very important that we embrace these investors.
I think what they want to do now is to be able to make them understand that, look, going forward, it's no longer going to be business as usual. Whatever that may be happening in the past, we want to now be able to put a system in place that will checkmate, correct the ills of the past, give us a new pedestal from which to stand and operate going forward.
Officially, what
Hello, good to have you on the program again, and it's a pleasure sharing the moments with you. Of course, it still remains the economy today, and the station still remains the same, Kaftan television. And so we have a talk this day, a discussion this day to hold with you on the program, and that's why it is here. Okay, so go here, and we have a topic for the day, and looking at it, we'll see the things that will enable us get better as far as the economy is concerned. As I always want to stress, that the most important thing is to see that the economy is held onto and that we work with it. And so, welcome again. The topic for the day is economic meltdown, skill acquisition to the rescue. Economic meltdown, skill acquisition to the rescue. And so, we'll go ahead. I've got this guest with me that will be joining us via Zoom, And there could be another guest that will be here seated because but we'll just go on. First of all, I want to welcome you again. And my guest that will be joining us via Zoom will be joining us all the way from Benin City. And she is a food specialist, and she will help us to talk about the things that can happen when the economy is melting down. What can we do? Do we have to remain on the fact that we have this job and that's all we will do? Or do we look for something else to do to make it better for us? That's the thing we'll talk about on the program today. You're welcome again. We will look at certain things we have, but above all else, I want to say, let's begin with what we have in the stock exchange. We will look at the stock exchange and see the things that are there for us for today. And looking at that, it shows that we'll be taking it from the one that had happened yesterday. That's the normal thing because it's the previous day's edition that we will show. And so looking at the stock exchange, we starting with as it was on Thursday. The market summary is this. The market summary, the all share index, that's ASI, happens to be 233,580.83 points. And we have also the value traded, and the value traded is also there for us to see, and we will be taking it along. We also look at it's 18 billion and the volume is 383 million. The market capital, as we've just mentioned, is what you've just seen, dear viewer, and I expect that this thing should be made clearer for me. Yes, as you go on, let's look at it and mention it. As I said, the value traded is 18 billion, and then the volume is 283 million, while the market capital is 149 trillion. 149 trillion. Thank you. We will also look at what we have concerning the activities. Of course, you've seen the volume traded. The volume is the shares, the number of shares that have been traded. And looking further down, we know that for that day we have a turnover 19 down, 8 up, and the stocks traded 130 listed, and equities we have 14 gainers and 34 losers. And from all that, let's go to see the top gainers. Let's take a look at the top gainers, the gainers in the market. There is Red Star. Red Star Express is leading this time with 9.6%. 9.6% and 24.55 kobo for each share. And Legend Internet came up with 9.09%, while Nemeth International Pharmaceuticals has 7.1%. That is where we have it. Rounding it off with Abbey Mortgage Bank having 5.4%, 5.45%. That is from Abbey. Okay, we'll move further, and this time we'll go to the top losers. Top losers. Remember that I said that there were 130 listed equities, but 14 gainers, and there were 34 losers. Out of the 34, we have just 4 or 5 to give you. So 4 rather. And among the top losers, we have Aberdell. Aberdell is the leading company. Aradel rather. It's Aradel Holdings, and Aradel Holdings is losing 10%, and that is to 1,575 naira. Then deep capital, that is deep capital. Deep capital taking the second position there and coming in there. Deep capital management and trust as also 10%. Deep capital management and trust as a 10% loss. Trans Nationwide Express also went down 9.9%. Regency Alliance went down. Regency Alliance Insurance has 9.57% loss. That is the way they are. Excuse me. And then, of course, as always, after talking about the gainers and losers, there are people who are the leaders, the people whose stock got strongest, were made use of there. And so the key stocks that were used on that occasion, we have Access Holdings. Access Holdings brought in 39.1 million shares. 39.1 million shares to be dealt with. And Jams has 24.5 million shares, while Fidelity Bank came in with 24.1 million shares. 24.1 million shares. I also want to add that Sterling Bank also came in with 23.7 million shares. That's it. We have been able to look at all those ones. But I must say that while the trend is that the market extended losses after profit taken last week, and ASI has, as we said, closed at 235,941.87 points, and that's just the way it has been. Thank you. That's what we have for that particular one, and we'll go ahead. I want to say thanks to Victor. We will, at a time like this, see if we have found our news, we can take it immediately. But if it's not there, then we will take a slight break and return.
If we had a better structure, I thought I had some kind of stuff in mind to say geopolitical zones. And we had a plan that every geopolitical zone must have a power station, for example. That means we have a minimum of six strong power stations.
Yes.
It's very important that we embrace these investors.
I think what they want to do now is to be able to make them understand that, look, going forward, it's no longer going to be business as usual. Whatever that may be happening in the past, we want to now be able to put a system in place that will checkmate, correct the ills of the past, give us a new pedestal from which to stand and operate going forward.
Officially, what we get in the country, 79% is from crude, foreign exchange, 11% is from oil, from gas, natural gas. Between the two of them is 90%.
If we are getting whatever it is we are getting from oil revenue today, you look at the oil revenue, is more than enough to take Nigeria to her next level. But at the end of the day, the processes, the leakages, and so many things that have become like an epidemic on our economy will not allow whatever we are gaining or getting from this deposit or these blessings from God to give us what we are looking for.
The coming of Brazil now this time is important. Then first they have to organize a workshop for these herders, those who rear cows. This is why it's good for you to have your cows in a particular place, and these are things you do to feed them well, and they will equally have good meat for consumption.
The end of a matter is better than its beginning, and in the other way around, the beginning of a thing also can predict what the afternoon or the evening of that same thing would look like. With the trend that has not been curbed and nothing has been discussed about it, for instance, when you see a project like fuel subsidy removal and you don't have a substitution or alternative like stomach infrastructure or welfare package for the same people that you are coming up to lead, and even though I didn't hear her directly, but it was in news that the president's wife made a speech that Nigeria should not be afraid that they are not coming to loot Nigeria because they are already having money. They are billionaires or trillionaires. So people were depending on that speech. Okay, if you come up, at least if you are a rich man and you come to manage a team, you make your influence affect the people so that they will not have hope. So right now, apart from God, sir, the trend that we are seeing in our economic ecosystem does not promise any better show for anybody.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why at Kaftan Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At Kaftan TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At Kaftan Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from
well, do just bear with us. We're still on at it, and then we'll ensuring that everything we perfected this day on this program. And so please let me also say that our business news will be on soon. But till then, let's look at what we have as a topic for the day. Having mentioned it earlier, I also want to mention it again that the topic is talking about the economic meltdown. But then it's not just a meltdown that's the main problem. The main thing that we are working on and thinking of working towards achieving is how to succeed concerning skill acquisition that has to be involved to enable. Well, my guest that should have been on via Zoom by now, who we are still waiting for, happens to be someone that is a food specialist. I want to say it that way because apart from that, this is not just what she read in school. She happens to be a business administrator. But then that skill of food and the things that have to do with food has helped a whole lot in seeing her through in so many aspects of life. And so I wanted us to share her experience and talk about it. The other guest that would have been here is not really coming any longer. So we'll just go on. But I'll let you know until the news gets on, and maybe until that guest comes on, we'll look at that, looking at the fact that when the economy goes down, excuse me, and everything is down, what can we do to make it better? What can we do to make it better? And looking at skill acquisition, we've seen it as one major thing that could be done to ensure that the economy is made better for the individual and for the family. Because the important thing is that when there is a problem concerning the economy, it also goes down towards the family. And so we're looking for the solution that we can find that will help us come out of it. That's why we've started thinking about the fact that skill has been of great value to our people in so many ways before now. We've had people who are skilled, who have used their skills to rescue their family or their people, or every situation themselves from that situation they are in. And that's what we would have really greatly dealt with. But we'll still deal with it rather, and then we'll go on. Then let's look at the meltdown thing. It's been talked about the fact that there is economic problem all over the world, not just only in Nigeria. We have had that over and over again, that it has happened, it's happening all over the world. But then, is that what we will hold on to? Is that what we will hold on to? And what is that meltdown? When the economy tightens, like the way it is with Nigeria today, Nigeria's market, they did recently, the oil share index 0.64 on June 25, profit-taking, inflation pressures. The people who stay afloat are the ones with transferable income-generating skills. The skills that someone can have and be able to put food on the table. That's the most important thing. The skill that can pay in a downturn recession. That's what we're looking for, all of them. And they have proof that they can pay. People always need it, and they always make use of it to save themselves and not just only money. Looking at it, there are some in the digital aspect of life. There are digital things that could be done skill-wise. We see today that are doing content creation. It's all a part of skill that they are using to see that food is brought on the table. So that's one of the major things we want to talk about here on the program really today. It could be sold. Marketable digital things are marketable skills, and they could go anywhere. Someone can stay in the comfort of his room or her room and produce something that, with the digital skill that will go around the world, and people will be ready to pay for the things that have happened. I remember a young lady who happens to have the skill of playing the violin, And she just played and showed her expertise and placed it on air. That is via the Facebook and all that. And someone, this fellow is still in Nigeria doing this, but someone from Britain called in and said, I hear that you can also teach online. Can you teach my child how to play the violin online? And she said, yes, I can. And then they started. And up to right now, she's still teaching that person's child how to play the violin. She's not gone to Britain. She's in Nigeria, and that child is in Britain. And the lesson has been going on. I know someone else too, a friend's wife in actual fact, who also is a specialist in English language, and she has from here in the FCT been able to teach people all over the world how to make effective use of English. And she's not gone to those places, but it's a skill that is helping her today, that a lot is going on, people are seeing, and a lot of things are happening. So there are skills people can have that will make all the difference. And there is finance and money skills. Companies, individuals need help cutting costs, investing tax, and all those things. And so when you see such a thing, a financial modeling investment comes in, and investment analysis comes in, and trading risk management also come in. They need someone that can help them. They're not going out, but staying somewhere they are and help do the work and get it perfected. These are some of the things we talk about when we say, talk about skills coming to the rescue. There are essential trades, physical trades that cannot be moved offshore, but then they can be physically happening around where someone is. Those who have got the skill of installing solar today in Nigeria, they are making some good money installing solar and all that. It's helping. The refrigerators, the ACs, repairs, and all those things, gnostics, welding, plumbing, and all these things are skills that people can have, and it takes them to heights that they wouldn't even believe they could ever get to. So these are some of the things that we look at. There are also the sales and the revenue skills, the sales and revenue skills we have around us. Businesses will fight for harder revenue, and so they will do everything to make sure that they get it. Now, this person that I mentioned that is a guest of mine happens to be, okay, before I go to the guest, let me just say that talking about when there is meltdown, a lot of things happen. So it depends on the person, or depends on you, to decide what you want to happen around you. There is adaptability, even from the mindset. We need to adapt. Okay, since it's like this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to make sure that things will work out for us in this place. Adaptability is one fast thing you can do. You can't say staying on your high horse, refusing to come down, to do some other things that can help you. Hunger can bring you down from that high horse to the ground. That's one important thing. So these are some of the things that we need to talk about when there is a mindset that, oh, it doesn't matter. I read engineering. I read I'm this, I am that, and this work is not coming. I think I'll let it be. Let me keep my certificate until the need for it comes. It's of great importance that someone goes to school. That's the thing. But don't just say it's only that certificate that it will give you what you need. No. I remember there was one young man that, I'm not talking about something that is not real, and he learned how to do the basic local security thing and started doing it. But he happens to be someone that read petrochemical engineering and things like that. And at the end of the day, this fellow was doing the work of a security man in a company and all that. But somehow, he saw an advertisement on newspapers, in the newspapers about employment in the NNPC, and he applied, and he was employed. And now he's a big man. He's doing well in that company. So that's the kind of thing we say. You don't say because you have this certificate, nothing else happens. No, a lot of things can go while you're doing that. Get a work, get a small work, be doing it, waiting for the main thing that one day it will come. And when it comes, it can be useful. I know someone who read law, and after reading law, today what she is doing in Lagos, Nigeria, is fashion. She's a household name in Nigerian fashion. She's among the first 4 you can mention anytime you want to talk about fashion industry in Nigeria. And she left the law and faced fashion. Now she's going all over the world, being known all over the world. Her brand is going everywhere just because of that skill she had, the passion she had for sewing. Use the word sewing, that's where it used to be, for sewing. And from there, she moved it a notch further and moved on. And now she's a great fashion designer, well known, not just in Nigeria, but in Africa as a whole and the world as large, that they have taken her materials. In fact, not just her materials, she has taken designs with models to France, to Italy, to America, just because of that fashion industry. She's made a whole lot. And there are other people that we know that have gone left one or the other. At least I remember that there is someone else that, if I mention the name here, you will also know, and I will. I'm talking that is a medical doctor, but she's not even practicing medicine, because she read medicine and completed it, not that she dropped out. She completed medicine, but then she went into the movie industry and started acting. And today, she is known everywhere. Kiki Omili happens to be a medical doctor, but she is a great actress, if you like, or actor, anyone you like to call her. And apart from that, she even started, I think she has even started producing too, and all those things. These are the things that people can get into, and the difference will be made where they are. And today that people are talking about another person, and that is also producing and acting and doing well, I think I gather that, first of all, she went to the university. What she read was French, but today she's a great producer. I'm talking about Omonioboli. So the people are like that. People are like that whose skills have helped and changed situations in their life. So let's not just say it must be this or it must be that. Whatever we have done is good. But the thing that we can achieve that will help us get to have a better situation in life is what we do. And what do we do with these skills? Of course, there are things that these skills will give us. Financial literacy. I mean, when you are sure of what you know concerning finances, financial solutions can be taken care of when we go into the skills that we have. It will help. It will help us, of course, and to solve the problems. It's a problem-solving thing. Most of the time, you go into any skill, it's a problem-solving thing. I know another who happens to have been a guest on my program here, who is also a business specialist and business administrator. And there's something else again, that's with engineering that he read. I can't just remember exactly. But today he is into properties and all that, a registered property agent and all that. Apart from all that, he does painting for people, screeding and all these things, and he's making money out of it. And these are skills people can pick, work with, and go ahead to achieve a lot. I know another one who has been great, he didn't read photography or photogrammetry, anyone you call it, but then incidentally, what is making him tick today all over the country is photography. He has studios everywhere. If I mention the name to be known, but this time I will not be able to mention the name because I don't want to be said that I'm advertising that company, so I'll let it be. But almost everybody knows about the company. They are doing photography. He started small, but seeing that this thing is good, he left all that he was doing, because while in school he was taking photographs with a small camera when there was this I don't know that name of that camera that you just snap and give to people. Started from there, and He went on and on and on. And today, he has a company that whenever it is mentioned anywhere, you know that, I mean, they are great. They are doing well in photography. So many things are like that. Many things are like that. And we'll go on, see them happen. And there is also the fact that with the skills people have, they can go into networking, and they will network and get opportunities, hidden opportunities everywhere that not placed on boards, billboards for anybody to see, but especially as it goes on. And the informal sector, of course, people will invite. I know someone who is also doing confectionery. In fact, today she should have been talking with us, incidentally. And after all the great things that she read, she is also doing confectionery. She produces cakes. One of the best cakes I've ever tasted in my life was produced by this fellow, and many. I know another one who is in America right now. He started producing cakes here in Nigeria. In actual fact, he wanted to marry a young lady that he loved, and the lady loved him. But the mother of that young lady rejected him because he said, "Is it this one that produces cake that you want to be your husband? You're a medical doctor. No, we will not agree." And because of that, that marriage was never held. And the man at a stage, when he found out that the parents, the mother in particular of the girl, has refused to accept, he said, "Okay, all I know is that I'll be great in this life, and this woman will regret the fact that she didn't let me marry her daughter." Today he is great. Today he's in America, doing great things in America. He's still producing cakes, so he's still doing other things. And of course, he has read some other things, and he's working and doing well. That today, definitely the mother of that girl he didn't marry keeps regretting the fact that she didn't let her daughter go to this man's home. There are many that you even know yourself. Please, let's not just say that it has to be this, if not, no. There are skills we will learn that will make the difference. There are skills we will learn, and we'll be constantly working on those skills, and those skills will even overtake the main thing we went to school to read and make us bigger people than we would have been thinking about what we learned in school. Oh, I believe that there would have been that business news should be here now. So let's just take it and we'll continue.
If we had a better structure, I thought I had some kind of stuff in mind to say geopolitical zones. And we had a plan that every geopolitical zone must have a power station, for example. That means we have a minimum of 6 strong power stations.
For more than 2 decades, the Abuja International Trade Fair has remained one of Nigeria's leading platforms for business networking, trade promotion, and investment opportunities. This year's edition, themed Resilience, Trade, Taxation, and the Economy, reflects the challenges confronting businesses in today's environment, from rising costs and supply chain disruptions to tax reforms and rapid technological change.
The 2026 Abuja International Trade Fair will focus on promoting trade and investment opportunities, facilitating discussions on taxation reforms and their impact on businesses, showcasing innovative products and technologies, strengthening business-to-business and business-to-government engagements, encouraging economic diversification, and providing a platform for policy advocacy between the private sector and government institutions.
Hosting at the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry Trade Fair Complex, Abuja, the 12-day event, which begins on the 25th of September 2026, will bring together over 500 exhibitors, showcase more than 10,000 products and services, and attract about 100,000 visitors and participants from across Nigeria and beyond.
This year's trade fair will bring together businesses, investors, policymakers, development partners, manufacturers, entrepreneurs, innovators, and members of the diplomatic community from Nigeria and beyond. It will serve as a dynamic platform for exchanging ideas, showcasing products and services, forging strategic partnerships, and exploring new investment opportunities. The Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry therefore invites exhibitors, sponsors, investors, development partners, government agencies, diplomatic missions, and the public to participate in this landmark 21st edition and take advantage of the immense opportunities it offers.
Beyond the exhibition, the fair will also feature street attractions, including the Miss AITF 2026 competition and BabaFest AITF Weekend 2026, aimed at promoting African creativity, entrepreneurship, and intra-African trade. All from Stephen, Kaftan TV News.
The presidency has warned that Nigeria's ability to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) will depend heavily on the fiscal strength of state governments and the Federal Capital Territory (FCT). Speaking at a high-level workshop on strengthening fiscal capacity of the subnational level in Abuja, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs, Adejoke Orelope Adefulire, said weak revenue generation and limited institutional capacity at the subnational level remain major obstacles to development. She noted that states are primarily responsible for key sectors such as healthcare, education, agriculture, infrastructure, and water supply, but many lack the resources needed to meet these obligations. She stressed that stronger fiscal management is essential for improving citizens' welfare. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Rural Electrification Agency, REA, Dr. Abba Aliyu, has described distributed renewable energy as Nigeria's quickest route to sustainable economic growth. Speaking at the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry LCCI Renewable Energy Outlook Conference in Lagos, Dr. Aliyu said the country's industrial competitiveness depends on building reliable, affordable, and scalable electricity systems. Delivering a keynote address on scaling mini-grids and solar infrastructure for industrial production, he stressed that Nigeria must adopt a diversified energy mix to meet its development goals. According to him, the country needs the national grid, gas, hydropower, solar energy, storage system, embedded generation, and mini-grids working together. He also highlighted the importance of private investments, local manufacturing, data-driven plan, and strong coordination across the sector.
Oh yes, and talking about that now, that was our business news. Moving from there, we'll still go on to continue with this discussion of how to work out something via skills in a situation of economic meltdown. That's the topic for the day anyway. And looking at it again, please, let's see that topic again. Looking at it, there are many things we can do, as I said, many things we can do to help us get to have it. And I have mentioned some of them. We will still mention a little more, and our time will be done. It's quite a pity that the guest that should have been here with us today is not there, and that the one we're supposed to link up via Zoom is not working as well. But then the show goes on. So we'll talk about that, and I believe that there are things you're learning out of what I'm bringing forth at a time like this. And so there are things we do, many things we do, just to ensure that things will go well. Somebody I know has also, because this is a male, not a female, has an idea they have to do with akara balls, production of akara balls, and living in an area where there is nobody producing it. He having a child that loves eating it every time, so he keeps going to where to buy it and coming back, and it takes time because there's a long queue there. The fellow decides entirely, okay, let's start producing this thing here and a little bit for commercial purposes so that you can eat at home since you like it, but other people will also buy because around here nobody is producing it. And that was how it started. And it worked out. It worked out for a while before it was concluded because of other things that came up. But assume, look at it in a situation where there is an area where there is the population is dense and or thick. Then you see that people will be ready to come and buy because the production is there. as people are buying, you see there is gain that comes. I also know an area where, in actual fact, for me, I must tell you, for me, I'm still thinking of going over to that area to do something. But it's just because of maybe how we have been with things that we're doing. This is an area where the population is something else. People move, it's a junction. People go through that junction more than almost anywhere else you can think of in this FCT. This junction, and someone is thinking of how to get to that junction and start producing hot, spicy moi that happens every morning and every evening, or just only every morning. People will look out for it all the time. They are in the vehicle, and they'll see the air, they see the heat coming up, oozing off, and they will want to, what is it that is coming from there? And someone tells them it's hot, spicy moi. It's moi, as some people call it, but I'm not interested in that. I'm talking about moi that I know. And people will want to buy. And of course, buying, you're making money. So there are things that you can't forget about your position and get to do and make the difference, because it will affect people and you yourself. You will make some good money for yourself. It's just, there are some of the things that when they come, people would forget a lot of other things and just go on to do. But I know that life is not the kind of thing that my people will say that you don't stand at a place to watch a masquerade. When a masquerade is coming, you don't stay at a place to be watching it. You move around because it comes in different ways. So you can see it, especially the one that is the greatest one. You move around to see everything that masquerade is doing. So these are the things we can look at and see. There are certain things that we can do to make things work, reduce cost and increase value. When you do these things, you do things that will help you to reduce cost. Looking at some of those things like the digital one I had earlier mentioned, for skills, there is what you could refer to as skill stack. You stack skills and start doing things. You combine two skills. Example, sales and Facebook ads, for example, electrical work and solar. Someone that is versed in electrical work can as well, excuse me, sorry, and as well learn to go on with getting the solar thing done, whether it's installation or maintenance, anyone. If you are to be the kind of person that is that has phobia for heights, then you may not do installation because there must be climbing. But then if you start it, you can get people who want to climb and you stay down and explain to the person what to do. So there are reasons and areas through which money can definitely come. Then of course we can go digital, even if you are a trader, you put your services on WhatsApp, on Instagram, and Fivers, and Upwork, USD income hedges against Naira volatility. All such things. It can work. There are so many things we can do. Going digital, making things that you're doing. I remember one young man some time ago, the advert we saw, he's in Benue or so, frying akara, and he calls, I think he gave it a special name or so. I can't remember the name he gave it, but then it was a very packaged akara that he would do then. He had a paper bag, that had his name and his company and all that. I think they called it Baba Akara or something like that. And people used to buy it a lot. And he had, I saw his interview, where he was interviewed and he was saying it. He was preparing it with gas cooker and all that. So it wasn't the kind that would be bringing smoke in the eyes of people. People would come around and sit back and buy. And he made his dough. Instead of waiting for the white-collar job that is not easily found these days, why not think of these other ones? Because I remember what our people normally say in Nigeria, using the pidgin English, say, man must work. You must do something to ensure that something is brought on the table. You don't need to explain to little children that you have at home that there is no money. And what about it? They don't care because they don't know about these things. You brought them into the world. So do something to help make sure that food is on the table on a constant note. There is also a reduction of cost and increase of value. Learn Excel, automation, AI tools, companies keep staff who make them more efficient. So do things that will make you more efficient so that even you that has found what to do, you can be maintained there. Then again, start micro, freelance, side hustle, or apprenticeship. You don't need capital. What you need is competence. So do some of these things as side hustles as a car. Do your work, but when at your free time, get more to do in some other places. These little things can surprise you, the kind of benefit, the kind of gain you get to have at the end of the day. Honestly, it is true that a meltdown destroys jobs, but it also destroys comfort. As a result, it forces demand for people who can build, who can fix, who can sell, and who can teach. So when in a network, when in a meltdown situation, can you build? Can you fix? Can you sell? Can you teach? These are the things. If you can do these things, from there, you can start something. One beautiful thing about this life is that you must put something in your mouth. People must eat. So those who I would advise, who want to go into the food section, would also try. Like as I was saying, one of my guests, the one that should have been on Zoom, produces wonderful peanuts that I have eaten and enjoyed. As I said, she's in Benin. And all that. We would have talked about it today. And she packages food in a special way that people are always looking out for her and for what she wants or what she has. So you're selling food. How are you selling it? And how neat have you kept it? How interesting has it been? And how cheap, not just too expensive. How moderate have you kept the price? These are the things that will attract people to you and attract money to you. Oh well, this is where we'll be thinking of rounding off what we've got with you today. I want to thank you so much for being part of it from the very start. I wasn't so sure of, but then it's okay. We've been able to do something and do it well. Thank you so much for being there, dear viewer. Well, some other time we'll make it better. I will get my guests to sit and we'll talk. So they will help me explain more of these. But I know that there are many things. Chin Chin is one of the things you can produce and so many others. I pray that you would have picked something meaningful out of what we have done today and be able to practice so that your finances can be made better. Thank you so much for watching. Let me not forget to thank Adebayo Sanusi. Let me not forget to thank Brian Chukwebue, to thank Sulaiman Hassan. Let me not forget to say that. And let me also thank Angela Emenyonu, as well as many other fellows who have already worked this morning. So many of us, we worked together to ensure that things got well. I also remember that Obed was here. That's talking about Eborelu. Thank you so much, everyone. I say thanks to Victor Adeye, Victor Chizea, all of you. I thank you all for being part of what has happened. And I wouldn't forget, of course, that Adejuwo Oluwaseun, yes, Oluwaseun, yes. I want to say thank you to all of you. And Victor, not Victor this time, I've greeted Victor, and not forgetting Phyllis Akinjabola. And my supervising producer at the head of station, Ruben Wakala. This is Okechukwu Onubogo. What have I got to say? May the very best happen to us all the time.